tries to just ignore the question and keep going.
What did you talk about on the date? What do you do on a date?
You just spend time together.
That sounds boring. We spend time together all the time. Are we all dating?
The girl has some good logic.
Mrs. Q, a little help.
Mrs. Q is too old for this conversation.
Elle, I think we need to have a good girl talk session afterwards, and we can do it when when we're getting ready for bed. We can get up in our jammies and have a chat, and I can explain everything to you.
Okay, because I got some questions for you too.
Oh, yes, that's
sure you do.
The salute killed me in the last session. That was so good. All right. As the message comes in, you hearing the caw of a big bird, the rustle of the leaves, the beats of wings above you, and Aelin very calmly speaking into your mind, Mrs. Q, to join in the council chambers. You are sitting right on the steps. It's easy enough for you all to gather your things and make your way into the chamber. And as the guards who are normally outside of the chamber, kind of used to you at this point, sort of motion for you to walk through, going around this very Colosseum-esque architecture of this chamber into the large open space. Similar to how Aelin had descended from the treetops when Mrs. Q and Basil wanted to speak to her at the start of this afternoon. You see a very large eagle form, golden feathers kind of flecked through with like veins of green and veins of gold in the feathers. Very sort of bright, almost like an iridescent plumage, and larger than any bird you have ever seen, slowly circling, carefully descending. Behind this bird, you see another smaller version, more of a tawny.
Yeah, don't worry though.
More of a tawny colored feathers, sort of like a patchwork crisscross across their plumage. The two of them slowly descending before their form starts to shift and blur, and they take the form of a very tall, almost spitting image of Aelin. A Luma with a very bright pink chest, very deep, like splotches on their cheeks. You see almost like a mantle of what looks like kind of twisted twigs kind of coming off of the robes of their shoulders, and very simple, sort of delicately stitched with green threaded ropes. Beside them, the smaller, tawny feathered eagle shifts before your eyes into a very shy looking Luma. Very pigeon-esque, the green throat, the very blue-gray head, kind of tucked in on themselves. You see a simple robe of all green with blue stitching across it, and immediately sort of almost reserves into themselves, tucking their hands into their belled sleeves and standing close to Aelin. Standing close to the larger of the two figures, the mantled figure. You also see Bertolt, the golden eagle that had helped you and greeted you when you were shunted, teleported here from the Avium by the Dean. And you see Aelin quickly running down the steps to embrace her twin, who you assume to be Astra. Mrs. Q and Basil, you were the one who got her name. As Aelin and Bertolt see you once more, they gesture over to you, Aelin kind of still holding the hand of her sister, before she looks at all of you and just, thank you for coming so quickly. We are finally able to be in one place again. my sister Astra, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure who this is accompanying you. And Astra just sort of moves one feather that was kind of out of place back into place on her cheek before giving you all a wave. You can see that Aelin and Astra are spitting images of each other, but Astra gives off a more dominant presence. As she moves the feather back into place, gives a small smile and a wave nod in your direction before introducing her companion. Trevor of the Winter Spring has also accompanied me here and was one of the reasons why we were delayed on our way. You must be the that we've been hearing about? You'll have to forgive me. I forget your name, and I certainly haven't heard all of your names.
Who's she talking
Your
to?
name's Trevor?
She's talking to you. The little Luma who kind of reserves in on himself, just sort of like looks, who is taller than you, looks down at you and just sort of,
Never met a bird named Trevor.
It's Trevor of the Winter Spring.
Oh. I'm Elle of the Colm Wayras. She tries to give it some authority, but it doesn't come very naturally to her.
You do see Trevor kind of like nod in an acknowledgement. Eyes get a little like, aha, almost. Before Astra sort of, so Elle and the rest of you?
I am Mrs. Q, and it's nice to meet you. And these are my friends, Basil, Apoc, and Aurora. We all have great interest in the Scorched Grove, and many of us even come from areas around there and are aware of the damage that it's causing. We would really like to be part of the solution.
Right, the ones who knew about Ash. She kind of looks over at her sister and Bertolt, who nod. Right. I have to apologize. Communication is always a bit tricky, especially now when we are so, well, exhausted, frankly. You see Astra sort of look around before taking a breath and kind of moving her hand. And out of the ground, you see enough chairs that look very comfortable considering they are just being forged from the wood of the tree itself. And she kind of sits almost into one of the chairs.
Can you make me a couch?
Apoc.
You know, it's been a while since we put our feet up. It's nice to rest.
Yeah, that'd be comfy.
I can give you footrests.
Perfect.
She sort of smiles, kind of side eyes her sister, who's almost just like wide eyed but covering it very well, before sweeping her hand once more, and you see footrests appear.
Thank you.
This is cute. I guess as these two are getting settled on their extra comfy seats, says, I apologize for my friends, but we have equally had a trying time recently.
That's her polite way of saying she'd like one as well.
There's one for all of you. Astra sort of just waves her hand as you are trying to apologize and almost wants to cut you off, but lets you talk.
Okay, well, she just sits down. She's like,
Yeah. Climb into our seats.
Is Basil's footrest close enough for him to reach?
I imagine Sir Basil would just sit on the footrest.
Tell me a story. You can see, as all of you are trying to get comfortable, and it's a bigger deal than I thought it would be. Um, you can see Astra's actually like giggling with her sister as you're all sorting yourselves out. And as you get settled, she's just sort of like coughs a little bit. Guess I'll launch right into it then. Seems like we can exchange a lot of information. I'm not sure what Aelin has told you, but we were unfortunately delayed coming here due to something Trevor had seen before, and we wanted to know if it was the same thing we were seeing from the air. Grove is a difficult place, you have to understand. And those of us who work first and foremost with it know that it is volatile at best, but it's been getting worse over the past 50 years. Harder to control. And what we're calling our flares are getting more frequent. They are just a name we use for any event that is out of the ordinary. We have been around since the Grove's inception, since its creation, trying to stop it and trying to quell it, and have been losing our grip. We've started losing more and more tenders who have tried to go out into the grove to assess the damage. That has been the biggest loss for our group. Few days ago, weeks ago, she kind of looks over at Trevor, who sort of a few weeks ago, I was out in the grove and I couldn't see what was going on. It was me, my mentor, and one more of us. It was almost like the earth kind of just collapsed underneath. And the air got really, really hot, hotter than before. And it was like a rift in the ash started moving our way. And I turned and ran. We both did, me and my mentor, but the rift caught up to him. He didn't make it out. I don't know what did it. Astra sort of reaches out and puts a gentle hand on Trevor's shoulder. In the air today, we saw what Trevor thought was another rift. We went to investigate. But to fly over the grove in a flared state is very difficult. It's hot, it's full of smoke, you can't see anything. So although we tried a scouting mission, it seems that the few hours delay, unfortunately, we couldn't see anything. But there's something new and moving in the grove that we haven't seen before, or at least that's what we can assume. In addition to all of the ember bats, the creatures of fire, the everything else that's currently going on. She sort of looks at her sister. You can see Aelin has almost. You can see. Well, I guess you can't because she's covered in feathers. But you can see her sort of wringing her hands more and more as Trevor and Astra have been telling her story. So if you know anything about why this might be happening, it would be good to know before we set off. I assume you are the ones who are going to accompany us to the grove.
You would have that information.
About like what I got from who?
Your research and all stuff on that.
Oh. Yes. Let me find my notes.
Furiously flips.
What is it? In our most recent adventure, where we were hunting down a rather dangerous creature in the avium, we came across some interesting things. Someone has been doing quite a bit of research on the Scorched Grove and tearing pages out of the books. And a lot of information and notes of someone who has been doing this research. We even came across someone who had conjured a rather frightening being that almost got us killed, who may or may not be involved. But at the scene where we had our last stand with the creature that we did end up defeating, we found a chest that contained a page of a book. It wasn't a full page, so we couldn't see everything, but it did talk about how the elemental creatures are durable, but vulnerable to water and cold type magics. This isn't the first time we've come across this information.
Not vulnerable to water. What
They-
I got.
You got not vulnerable? I had not and then crossed out the not. I think they are vulnerable. Was it not or I don't
I have
remember.
not
Yeah.
vulnerable.
I wrote down compose of fire tend to be vulnerable to cold type magic. However, it can be used to slow them down.
Yeah.
All right.
Cold is good, water's bad.
Yeah.
Water makes steam, I think.
Okay, so they are vulnerable to cold, not water. I will just cross that out.
Here's the paper. Do you recognize the name? They just show them the note from the thesis that we have. Aner?
She like looks, and this was the name that was like ink blotted and smudged.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Okay, he's not a tender, I guess.
When you join the tenders, you don't have a last name. So, unfortunately, this is less than helpful.
That's good to know.
Why don't you get a last name?
Not that you don't get a last name, you move past your last name.
Why?
Does it make you feel more like a family?
Bit. We all come from different backgrounds. Anyone can be a tender if they choose. That's why Trevor is Trevor of the Winter Spring. Is that what I said?
Yes. I think I wrote it down, so I think so.
It's interesting you say conjured a creature. The cold magic, the frost magic, the ice magic. That's what we do try to use when we are dealing with creatures from the grove. They're mostly made of fire. Not sure if you've had any run-ins with any ember bat clouds or any other creature from the grove, but cold usually helps to keep them at bay, if nothing else. It's common knowledge for anyone who's able to travel to and from the plane of fire that having cold type magics at your disposal is very useful. But we've recently noticed flocks of ember bats are much bigger than they used to be. And upon the destruction of one of the most recent ones, there was this strange orb that we could only identify as something conjured. We've never seen that before. We are not mages. We don't deal in this kind of magic. We've been trying to figure out what it is, but it seems to almost act like a magnet for ember bats. As best as we can tell.
Somebody putting it there to bring the bats?
I'm not sure.
Is-
That is concerning.
Are they strategically placed? Or are they just random?
We include them in our flare events. It's random. They move with the ember bat one cloud once it's attracted, is what it seems like. But as soon as the emberback cloud disperses, the orb was something separate, as best we can tell. We've been in contact with the Avion to try and figure it out, but I've yet to hear back. So hopefully someone can let us know what we are dealing with. It seemed that we were able to cause damage, but without knowing what we were trying to hurt, we didn't want to destroy it. Better to keep an eye. That is one of the newest things we've seen. That has not been around in the past 50 years.
Who did you contact at the Avian?
We reached out to one of the professors there, a druidic professor who is a tender with a change of heart in their early years. She goes by the name Wordsworth.
Winsworth?
We recognize the name of the dean. What's the name of the dean?
You'd recognize it as the same name as the dean, but the dean was definitely not druidic in nature.
Okay.
Wait, Winsworth or Woodsworth?
Wordsworth.
Okay, because it was Dean Winsworth, right?
Oh. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Winsworth.
We'll double check and make sure. Dean.
Gabriel Winsworth.
Winsworth. Yeah, Winsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Q looks at her companions and says, I wasn't the only one who was looking into these things, so let my fellow folks speak for what they have discovered.
Did you say pages were ripped out of books about this?
Yes.
We know the grove was studied. We used to escort people from the Avian who were doing a paper or a thesis or whatever. But that has since slowed, obviously, since the grove has gone untamed. But to have pages ripped out.
We suspected that it may be the person who we found conjuring the skeletal beast that we had to fight. As we also found the reference librarian had been put under some kind of charm and stuffed in a cupboard. We think this person who was collecting the information was what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
He was impersonating the librarian. We think perhaps. If nothing else, he kidnapped him.
Seems like a lot of bad things. For what end?
We weren't able to apprehend the perpetrator.
However, from his research, we were able to determine that he was looking into a great creature that is associated with the grove. It appeared that our assailant was trying to research ways to damage or weaken this creature. Does this sound familiar at all to anything you've seen out there?
Not a creature to that extent. That would be... She looks over at her sister and at Trevor. That matches a description of ancient elementals from the elemental planes. But this is not an elemental plane. It's long been theorized that the grove is a rift to the elemental plane, but we have seen no such thing in our journeys into it, as deep as we've been able to go. If
This person certainly thought that there was a connection between the two.
you can see a look of almost worry cross Astra's face. If it's an elder elemental, we best be prepared for whatever it is we're going to find there, depending on how deep we travel. They're not to be trifled with.
What, did you say how deep we'd travel?
Grove is massive.
Oh,
You just want to
down, like underground.
There is a cave system basically at the northernmost point of the Scorched Grove, but as soon as you enter the caves, it gets far too hot for anyone to travel safely. And with the stress of reaching it, no one's been able to travel that deep and come back.
Do
How
you
do
know?
you travel close to it?
Well, for us, we can certainly fly there, at least in part, looking over at Trevor, after we've had a bit of a rest. But as soon as you get close enough where the smoke starts to overtake the air above, it's safest to travel on foot. The ground is covered in ash, embers. It's a wasteland, but we really have no other option.
Do you have like cryo suits that keep you cool?
For the most part, the grove, although the air is dry, it's not stifling.
But when you go deep, you have
Even with the assistance of spheres of cold that last temporary time, the heat is so great that the damage to the sphere it cracks.
how do you beat something you can't even come close to? Do you have any grants like for funding? Could we commission somebody to make something?
You don't even know if the cave is where you want to go. Have you ever been to the grove?
No, but I'm just guessing. I'm not a scholar like you guys, but things are on fire and cities are burning. My assumption is that the hot spot might be related.
The hotspot was only found a few years ago.
Okay.
At that point, we were losing too many tenders to try.
Fair. 2 years, you haven't put any work towards getting close to it?
We've certainly tried.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just checking.
But to split our resources in trying to keep the grove at bay, I'm hoping that's where you all can come in.
Can certainly try. I think it might be worthwhile knowing what sort of gear we're going to need to bring if we're going to try and get as far into the grove as necessary to see what's really going on.
Anything. She kind of thinks for a moment. You are safe for the most part walking, but if you wish to protect your feet a bit more, perhaps a sturdy pair of boots would be worth it. Any type of cold spells or frost-based spells will be of use should we reach any creatures. The faster you're able to dispatch the creatures, the safer you will be in the grove. If we are intending to go as far as the cave system, hotspot, that is a different story. And in that case, any protection you have is going to play a role. Although I will say that close, metals don't usually work very well.
What don't usually work?
metals, metal armor, non-magical metal weapons, things of that sort. If you try to walk in, I don't recommend it.
Hmm.
So
Are
Basil
you
just
familiar with a heat metal spell?
sword.
We can, of course, assist if you need some form of enchantment. She looks over at Bertolt and Aelin. But that would be your best bet if you're trying to stock up. We do need at least a day to recover our ability to fly. If we are going to take that. And it is a 2-day journey to the edge of the grove. Who knows how long you wish to stay
How long we wish to stay at the Grove?
there. Correct.
As long as it takes to stop what's there. But I think in our research, didn't we notice that if cold is to weaken it, that there was like, oh, I thought I had written down like finding a magical ice, like should we be looking for that rather than going headlong into the flames? Like, shouldn't we be looking for some type of like icicle weapon or frozen shards that could be used before? Maybe that's the approach we take.
Aspect of ice.
Aspect of ice.
That's. I remember.
Okay.
Aspect of Ice is a story.
Mhm.
From the very founding of this plane.
Is there truth in every story?
We certainly believe it to be true. You're saying a shard, a weapon from this aspect? It was destroyed. It's certainly possible.
It's her idea. She remembered.
Yeah, but you're the one in person right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, things could have been destroyed. You know, when you said was destroyed, it doesn't mean it stays destroyed. I was dead, and I'm not anymore. Could still be there. Could still be out there to be found.
We do have some elder tenders. I can ask and see if they have any inclination, but I will very much need to sleep after.
Do you have any transmutation tenders?
No, we deal mostly in the organics.
Feel you.
I
Yeah, you like that crunchy stuff, that green grass.
She genuinely looks a bit confused. Transmutation is certainly part of our practice, but no one specializes. Why?
Well, you can make things cold if you can transmute.
Yes, that's very true. Most of our frosty spells lie in the realm of evocation. If you're familiar.
Yeah. I dabble.
You dabble?
I don't know if I've used an evocation spell.
Let me send a message to our elders. I'll see if they have any inclination as to the aspect of ice, but the aspect of ice is one of those elder elementals, an ancient creature from the very founding of our world. The destruction of the aspect of ice was supposed to be the last of the elder elementals here. They were banished to their home planes after.
They were banished?
locked away, sealed.
The aspect of ice was banished.
The other elder elementals. The aspect of ice was destroyed. But there are 4 elemental planes. The aspect of ice belonged to the elemental plane of water.
Right.
Where was it last seen?
Somewhere in the wood. This was millennia ago. Right now, it's nothing but a story. As she's looking at all of you, sorry. My apologies. As she's looking at all of you, you can see Astra's eyes, although she is making eye contact with whoever is speaking at that particular moment. You can see her eyes always flicking back towards Elle whenever there is a spare moment, just sort of flicking back and flicking back. Sometimes it's nothing but just like a rapid, quick look. Her head doesn't turn, just kind of snatching glances when she can.
Does Elle notice this?
You can make me a perception check to see.
Yeah.
Because you are still exhausted.
Yep, I am. Sorry, what am I rolling? I rolled a 13 perception, so 15.
15
total. Yeah.
You don't catch all of the glances, but you do, like, you're looking at her as she kind of flicks her eyes over towards you. She gives sort of a little, like, smile when she notices that you make eye
Gonna kind of eye her suspiciously. And Ella's kind of just gonna close her cloak a little more to cover the 2 books that she carries. She's not really sure if she wants to say anything about what she learned at the avium. She doesn't really trust these new people, and she hasn't really said much even to her party, because I don't think we've really talked about all of that yet.
Haven't had a chance.
No, okay. So she's just kind of like, basically.
Adorable.
Mrs. Q sort of takes a look at like around the circle of people who were there. And if she doesn't see anyone looking like they're about to speak or share something, then does she?
At this particular moment, it's just whatever sort of chatter's been going on. So there is a lull at this point.
And Mrs. Q says, it sounds like we have good reason to leave as soon as possible, which means you will both need to rest. So why don't we allow you the opportunity to do that, and my party will go and prepare ourselves for departure tomorrow?
2 days.
2 days? No, 1 day?
Yeah.
2 days?
2 days. We can't leave in for a few days.
Oh, I see. What?
What? Don't you, we need cold damage. I want some stuff for us.
You require
Okay.
2 days. We can take 2 days.
All right.
3. Sorry. Blame Tabitha. I can't make her work faster.
Perhaps we could go talk to Tabitha and see if she can be prepared in 2 days. Okay, out of game. How much money do we actually have? Do I need to ask for a stipend?
Always ask for a stipend.
Aurora, did you share that you have whatever money you have is currently in your inventory. That's all you know. That's it.
Okay.
You can see that I still got some jingle to my jangle.
Why does that sound bad?
I don't know.
Because it's supposed to.
Mrs. Q says, I don't know much about getting magic weapons that are immune to heat or anything like that. Do you know how much these things would normally cost?
You're asking Astra?
Astra slash,
Everyone who's there.
yeah, Aileen.
Everyone who's there? Because you do see Astra kind of like, um, she sort of looks at a bit of a loss for this before Bertolt kind of, we're unsure how much it costs. You can certainly see if any for particular weapons you need to go to in the trunk market. There is a smithy there, the sharpest knife. If anybody would have any weapons, it would be them. You do have the pawn shop who might have some stuff. Sozin is always very happy for a trade. And Tabaka, she's the what's it called now? The Diagon Alley, I think is what it's called for her. And she's the purveyor of magics here as well. There might be some rotating vendors in the trunk market, but I'm sure I am uncertain. Not sure what the going rate is, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. We will pool out funds and see what we can get.
One last question for Trevor, just before we depart. You said that these elder elementals were here kind of near the start, like before there was any of us. Did I hear that right?
You see Trevor kind of like give a nod, but sort of look over at Astra, who nods.
Okay, Astra.
Correct. Yeah.
Was there anybody else there besides the elder elementals? Anybody that might still be around?
The dawn of creation. There is a creation story where she kind of looks around.
When we were in the avium, I was reading a book that spoke about giants that were there at the dawn of creation, crystal giants specifically. Would they still be around?
She kind of like, you see her sort of open her mouth and close it a couple times as she thinks. I'm not certain about a description, but there is a story about the first children. The first children of the elements. She sort of looks around and sees sort of you nodding along, Aurora, but blank stares on the rest of you as this is information. The story goes that Humblewood is built on a point of power between the elemental planes, and when the Amaranthine first found this place, the elemental spirits of each plane were at war with each other. Every attempt that the Amaranthine had to try and build life here was killed off almost instantly by the raging winds, high waters, fires, and rumbling earth. And it wasn't until the Amaranthine created a child out of the flesh of each of the elements that the fighting stopped. Until the elder elementals decided to make an appearance and started up violence again. I'm not sure about Crystal, but there is a first child of Earth that might meet your description.
Okay.
As she's speaking about this, you can see her side-eye Elle once more.
Who just keeps getting like lower and lower into like her cloak. Like pretty uncomfortable at this point. But also trying to pretend like nothing is happening.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So is it a treat yourself kind of day?
Sorry, I'm not familiar.
I was talking to the group.
Oh, a treat yourself kind of day.
Yeah, we're gonna go shopping.
Body?
Let's spot it.
I could go for a mud bath.
You mud?
Yeah, they're mud.
So
Hmm.
I think we have some shopping that needs to be done. So probably.
So if you need 2 days, that would be ideal for us as well, so we can get our rest. By that point, hopefully, I can reach out to our elders about the aspect of ice and a potential weapon. I guess we will see you in 2 days. As Astra goes to stand, Aelin's standing as well. And you can see now that the conversation is done, there is an air of fatigue almost around Astra and Trevor as they just say their goodbyes and are escorted out by Aelin. The chairs that they were sitting in just sort of twist and dissolve back into the floor of the council chambers. And you are left with Bertold, who is just sort of chattering about if you have any questions or anything like that, but slowly trying to escort you out of the chambers as well. What are we doing, folks?
We leave the chamber.
Great.
Yeah.
I imagine that we probably have our own small debrief before heading out to do the shopping, so we can come up with some kind of plan and like give anyone a chance to share things if they or thoughts about what we just learned. So maybe we can find a quiet corner somewhere outside the.
Easy enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want to take a 5-minute break? I would love some tea. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Let's take a 5-minute break and reconvene. So you do find yourself just outside of the council chambers once more in the atrium. I'm going to call it an atrium. So the atrium at this topmost ring. Seeing that you want to chat amongst each other, Beotholt is going to take his leave. You see Astra and Aelin slowly starting to descend one of the staircases to some of the lower rings. What would you guys like to do?
Mrs. Q like ushers everyone over to like a quiet corner, maybe where there's like a spot to sit or something. And she pulls out some cookies and hands everyone a cookie. And has her own cookie and says, okay, what do we think of that? Given everything that we know, it all seems like no one really knows what's going on. But can we maybe piece together everything that we have just found out with everything that we know before to come up with some kind of game plan?
What do you guys think?
You guys know what I know. I think.
We don't know what we don't know.
How would I know what you know?
They told you it.
When?
I mean, over the course of the last day and a half.
Okay, so now we know.
What?
What are the news?
To answer Mrs. Quillam, I think with what we know, like to me, getting whether it's this fragment of the aspect of ice seems to be kind of paramount. If we don't get that, we don't have a chance of surviving the Scorched Grove. So to me, that's our first task. And then from there, we can follow up with the tenders to the Grove. So hopefully that doesn't take too long. That's my thoughts. I'm open to everybody else's.
If maybe I'm misunderstanding it. This is partly Georgina, partly Mrs. Q. If you were to destroy an elemental, like the aspect of ice, does that mean that the plane is gone?
He said sealed away. So like,
Others were sealed away, but that the aspect of ice was destroyed.
I thought the aspect of ice was an actual thing, like a elder elemental. It wasn't the whole plane itself.
Okay.
I
So
think the plane still exists. You just can't get to it because it's locked away.
so the only way to get to the plane is with this elemental?
You do get the sense from Astra's story that the elder elementals or these aspects of ice, or these aspects, period, come from their respective elemental plane. Like the aspect of ice from the plane of water.
Yeah.
But
So
the existence of the plane precedes these aspects. They are independent. And that what was sealed away after the destruction of the aspect of ice were the other aspects.
Okay.
The aspect of fire, air, and earth.
But really we want.
Wait, sorry. You're saying that those other aspects were sealed away?
And the aspect of ice was destroyed.
Yeah. But the plane isn't gone. It's just the aspect that's gone. So we just need to find another way to open the plane.
Do we know what they meant when they said sealed away?
well,
Like what does that mean?
I'm thinking if they were destroyed on this plane, there might be fragments still here, just buried or lost, and we need to find them. Like I don't know how well we would fare on a different plane if it's completely frozen. Like I can handle the cold as the best of them, but if it's really cold, I don't know if that's wise.
But is it cold though, or is it water?
I think it could be any of them if it's the 4 different elements.
Yeah, like the fire plane's probably hot. The water plane's probably moist. The earthen plane is probably, I don't know, just like rock hard. And the windy plane is just kind of like gently breezy. So that's probably the plane we want to go hang out on. That seems like the cool place.
Yeah, I think air and fire don't mix too well, do they?
No.
We
I
need
mean, it kind of depends.
the. Sorry, I'm getting myself so
Yeah.
mixed up here. So the water plane, the water element plane is not the same as the ice element
I
plane.
don't think so.
Yeah, it is. They said the ice elder came from the water plane.
Oh, all right.
There's wind, earth, water, fire.
Yeah.
So Basil's gonna kind of like scratch his head. He's still a little confused about it, and he's gonna say, "Elle, does this sound familiar to that page in your?"
Look at that grin.
What page? I don't know what you mean.
So Basil's gonna go like,
Do a check. Just kidding.
I think the entire world is doing a check right now.
Yes. Go ahead, Elle. Either persuasion or deception. Whoever wants to make an insight check on Elle can do so.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just to know about me, as a featured trait, when someone performs an insight check against me, you have disadvantage. And I get advantage on whatever I counter with.
So roll accordingly.
But
Disadvantage.
I also
insight.
have exhaustion, so it's just a straight roll for me, right?
Mhm.
And you said it would be insight for us or investigation for us?
Insight. At disadvantage.
Okay.
Wow. What a waste.
I know. The biggest waste of a roll.
Okay, Elle, what did you roll? You don't have to say the skill.
I rolled a 19.
Did anyone hit around there?
Only rolled 120.
You get. I mean, Basil, you kind of know the truth, but the rest of you believe Elle.
Sir Basil will just kind of hesitate and kind of give her a look and be like, "Why are you?" But then we'll just play along and just say, "Oh, I must be confused," and just give her a look and kind of like, what are you doing?"
Mrs. Q, thinking that Elle is just, everything's tickety-boo, says, "Oh, well, the information she said about the child of the elements kind of interests me. I'm wondering if we can't get to the plane, if we could find the child of the plane, maybe they don't need the aspect, and they can open up the plane."
You guys need red string.
Can I
and a fingerboard.
can I clarify something? I believe that Elle is naive enough to not think it's her, but I sure as hell still think it's her. If only we knew a child.
Period.
Well, we don't know any kids. Can we go get lunch?
Yeah, let's go get lunch.
Okay, go get.
All right, what's the plan? You tell me where you want to go.
I don't know about you, but you guys, but I have a few things I want to pick up before we leave town, and then probably a little bit more now that I know we need to like gear up for an adventure. So, what are you guys feeling?
For lunch?
No.
Well, that good news is, Elle, we can go make supper if we're staying in town.
Oh yeah. Well, then, do I need to dress up?
No, you were fine earlier. Like it's just family supper, so it's nothing fancy or formal.
Well, I don't go to many family suppers. It sounds kind of fancy.
You know what? We could get you to dress up. Like, you want to do a little like makeover?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But okay. Does everyone want a sandwich? I can go get sandwiches. Hey, Basil, let's go get sandwiches for everybody.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So you two are going for sandwiches. You just had lunch before the council, but we're going for a second lunch.
Always need second lunch.
Mrs. Quillam, where are you going? I'll hang out with you.
Mrs. Quillam is gonna maybe head down to the trunk market to try and. Well, hang on a second. How are we supposed to reconvene for lunch? Where are you going to get sandwiches?
Let's all go get sandwiches together.
Yeah.
There's a magical sandwich vendor that just decided to make shop on this ring. He's on the other end, away from your group.
You guys are all just
Oh, okay.
sitting
If
down
we just
chatting,
okay,
and me
that's
and
fine.
Al
If it's like
going
gonna be
and
like
getting-
5 minutes,
Yeah, me and Al are going to get up for the group.
I would like pickles on my sandwich, please.
Okay, Miss Q wants the sandwich of all pickles. What does everyone else want?
Whoa! I don't want a pickle sandwich. I want a cheese and pickle sandwich.
Okay, Elle takes out like a little notebook and starts like writing down
You sure?
cheese and pickle.
A pickle sandwich can be good sometimes.
I feel like it needs cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bear.
Oh, I miss you. All right, as you all give your sandwich orders to Elle and Basil, you are able to kind of wander over to the magic sandwich shop that has just appeared on this ring by the door to the perch guard garrison. I don't know what to call it. Their headquarters, their clubhouse. And
Birdhouse?
Birdhouse, there you go. You are, for all intents and purposes, in your own little bubble as your friends are across the square, across the ring from you.
I imagine like maybe it's kind of like Subway, the guys, doing this thing, making all the sandwiches, and Sir Basil just kind of like go up to Al and be like, Al, what was that about back there? Why weren't you willing to tell the group about the letter or the page?
Oh, she's just gonna sigh and then look to make sure that there's enough pickles going on the sandwich that's currently going through.
A few extra, please. Oh.
I'm a little nervous to kind of tell the whole group that, like, I know I've got a destiny, but now that I kind of know what it might be about, I'm a little nervous.
What's to be nervous about?
So, well, you're a knight. You know how to do adventures and everything, and I don't really know what to do. And if I have to save something, that's a pretty big deal. I know this is like an adventure in a storybook, but a lot of stuff has happened that I don't think I've ever seen in a book before.
So,
Illusion!
Sorry.
um,
It's too good to stop that.
Sir Basil's going to kind of like run along and just say, well, you're right. We many times will have to do things that we're uncomfortable with or do things that are new territory to us. That whole date with or her sister, I've never done anything like that before. But by my knight's honor, I had to push forward, and I had to do something that was uncomfortable. So something like this, even though it's a scary destiny, it's something that you have to face head on. And similar to, you're not doing it alone. You have us. You have me. And I'm kind of like, look up. Like
This is awesome. I want this sandwich.
Oh my god.
Oh, who has pickles this big? Anyway,
Yeah.
You would hate it.
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, Elle is gonna warm up a little and she'll go into like her pouch and pull out the page and she'll show it to Basil and kind of just what he sees is she makes sure that the note that was inside is not in there. She doesn't show him that, but kind of just you see this theory about Humblewood being like the ground zero between material planes and elemental, that they're still kind of close to each other. And this connection with 4 kids with each plane. And there's a little bit more about their family trees, and Elle kind of points out the one part. I know this is why you ripped the page out, because it says the Zogma family, but my name is on here too, and so is Emrys's, and I don't know. We're just kids, and I don't know exactly what we might have to do, but does this mean we have to find all of everybody?
I think
I'm
it
not
might,
really sure what it means.
if anything, we owe it to ourselves to search and to look. I don't know what it means either. But if you, and he'll list out their names, Emerus, Evie,
It is.
Evie and Aro is what I have written down.
you, Emerus, Avro, and Evie are all part of this, and it seems like you have a big part to play. Then we have to face it head on. I think you should share this with the group. I'll be right there with you.
So kind of like him and Haw.
Your
Look
shoulder.
back. She'll look back and she'll ask for extra sandwich sauce. And
Right up.
he's gonna say,
Pickles.
okay. More pickles! Okay, alright. Okay, we'll tell everybody. But I don't know if I want to tell the tenders yet. I don't know if you saw, but one of the tall twins was looking at me. I think she might know.
Well, I'll follow your lead. Remember, we're all in this together.
Sorry, the song is playing in my head.
What song?
The one from High School Musical.
All in this together. Da, da, da. Sorry, it's copyright. I'll stop right now. Okay, we're gonna get the sandwiches and kind of we'll run back to the table. So, this is Elle, cheese and pickle. Apoc, ham and cheese.
Himself.
And we got 'em.
Aurora, all veggies.
So just a salad? You went to a sandwich place and got me a salad? Perfect.
Nailed it.
What is your sandwich? What did you get?
Cold cut combo.
The original.
Sir Basil's sandwich is gonna be like as big as his head, and he's gonna be like, it's almost kind of like if he's holding up, you just see like, you know.
Oh my god, amazing.
Nice. I'm imagining like roast beef or something.
Yeah, he's just like this giant sandwich.
With like horseradish.
You barely see his eyes peering over, and he's just like, oh, it's like trying to nibble at this thing.
They're hungry people.
It's delayed, but could I give Basil inspiration for that heartfelt speech?
Add your inspiration there, Basil.
Cool.
You are all able to eat your delicious ? Sandwiches.
while we're kind of sitting eating the sandwiches, Elle's gonna pull out the page and be like, so when Basil destroyed my grandmother's dissertation, he had good reason to. And she's gonna kind of say the same thing that they would have read and that what Basil learned.
Good opening.
Holy shit. You know who has Cordelia, right?
Yeah, Emma says Cordelia.
You know how Cam liked to play jokes on people?
Yeah.
I'm the only one you told.
Apoc, where's Cordelia?
Didn't he put something in Cordelia?
What?
Actually, that rings a bell.
I don't remember, genuinely.
Find that out later.
That's an interesting segue.
Yeah, Cordelia's the doll.
Yeah, that has a bomb inside of her.
Oh yeah, I think there is.
What was the bomb? I gave you guys a bomb?
Go back, Marcel.
Yeah, it's
the
fine.
tapes will decide that.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you guys are all
Fine here, folks.
while you guys are all eating, I'm like, guys, you cool? I just gotta make a quick phone call. And I'll be right back. And
What the fuck?
I step away from the table and I'd like to cast sending.
Okay.
I'd like to call my stoner friend Sapphire.
Okay, like the
Yeah.
the one. Okay.
Yeah. And they like, yo, Sapphire, I know it's been a bit since we've seen you. Like a couple days have gone by, or a couple weeks have gone by, but like, I've heard some things about the early days, and I'm just wondering if you knew anything about, aspect of fire. Sorry, I've said way more than 25 words.
You very much so.
I'll cast it again. Second time.
Hi.
It's me again. Sorry, I got cut off in the first call. Aspect of fire. Do you know anything about where that might be?
Then we want
Aspect of ice. Aspect of ice.
Okay.
Okay.
Third message.
Cast it again. I've got a third one.
Hello, it's me, Jester. As you channel to your stoner friend Sapphire and you focus in to send these messages, that humming that you heard earlier this morning when you were reading over the Necronomicon, it starts getting louder and louder, like a vibration, like a tinnitus, as you send this message and try and connect with Sapphire. And I'd like you to just make a perception check.
Perception?
Yes.
That's a nat 20.
Wow. You
Everything. No.
you can't necessarily explain it, but the crystal on your hip feels lighter, heavier, different. You can almost feel every footstep from everybody else in this ring as they take it without even seeing them. You can almost sense someone start walking behind you as that humming just grows and grows and grows. And as you reach out and complete these messages in the tone that you just did them in, you actually hear this time a low pitched frequency, very similar to when you last saw Sapphire. And almost without recognizing it, from that low pitched frequency, you understand the words. Aspect to the north, rumblings beneath the earth. Aspect to the north, rumblings beneath the earth. The biggest danger is south.
Mm.
And as the message concludes and disconnects, that low-pitched tone subsides, but the humming, the constant humming that is right now kind of pressing in, although it lightens, you now notice it just in the background.
Okay.
And it seems to emanate from the crystal on your head.
Beautiful. Sorry about that, guys. Just had a check in with a friend of mine. Turns out they said that the aspect of ice might be underground north of Alderheart. Just so happens that they were linked in.
Huh.
Who did you ask?
Just a friend, old friend.
That feels super convenient, but great timing.
Yeah.
Been hanging on that one for
Her?
a couple weeks.
Aurora, make a persuasion or deception check.
23.
All right.
Telling the truth. Old friend.
Wow. You really know people.
You got to be connected when you have a family like mine.
I almost want to insight that.
Fuck. 13.
17.
That's persuasion.
Seems. Yep, you gotta be on your toes in a family like hers.
You say your last name was?
It's Aurora Winters.
I don't know any of the families
Not
around
at
here.
all.
There's no way I would. But he's making a mental note.
What's north of Alderheart where there would be underground things?
Were we at the mountains?
So the mountains are to
The
I'll
east.
say
North-
The east.
Yeah.
I haven't pulled up the map in a while.
I know, me neither. So Alderheart is very much central. Wrong map.
Yeah, I know.
It's on the campaign page.
Yeah.
Alderheart is very much central to the woods. The Scorched Grove is to the west. The mountains where you were are to the east.
Like northeast.
And the ocean, the ports are to the south.
Mhm. Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe under the mountains. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, I gotta be right back.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have time to go north and look for it before we're supposed to head out.
That's true. We only have 2 days.
So what's the plan, folks?
During this downtime, could I read through the book again? Myths along the Scorched Grove? Or myths about the Scorched Grove? I forget what it was.
There's myths about the Scorched Grove.
Yeah. Okay.
You can read through it, yeah, absolutely. And when you read through it with this new lens, you start to see almost fragments that kind of match this idea of a great calamity between elder elementals that they read as monsters in these stories. But as you read through it, knowing what you're looking for now, the threads of these first children, these aspects or elder elementals, the war between the elements that prevented life, and the peace that was reached when the first children were gifted by the Emerald Sign. They all have, you can pull out correlations things that seem to match. They are in different myths. So one myth talks about the origins of the Great Calamity. And you now see that the monster that was slain and fragmented into pieces matches essentially what you would know about the aspect of ice so far.
Can I tell, like, just looking at, is it pictures? Is it right? Like, where that could be? Like, is it mountainous? Is it flat? Is it foresty? Is it underground? Like,
There's one myth in particular that speaks of the Great Calamity as a battle instead of a single event. And the hypothesis or the overarching theme of this myth, of this story, is that the Scorched Grove was a battleground. And that's why the grove is the way it is with these elder elementals. But when when the aspect of ice was destroyed, it cooled the ground around the grove, allowing a forest to pop up.
Okay.
You get the sense that
could be under the grove.
not so much that it's under the grove,
Or
that it's outside.
like under Alderheart. That's what I meant.
So
Share
not
that with the group.
Say that one more time.
so in the forest, but north of the tree.
What our information's leading us to.
Yeah, so literally somewhere here.
Somewhere in the forest further up.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how far is that? 'Cause we go looking for 2 days?
It is a big expanse of forest. North of Alderheart, before you hit the grove or the savannah, is a big expanse.
Did I cast locate object on
You can certainly
what is
try.
it called? Aspect device. Have you seen pictures of it?
Yeah, don't you need like an image or a description of it or something?
Is it in the myths book? Fragments
The
of the
myths-
aspect device.
The myths, like in the myths books, if anything, it's like crude drawings.
Yeah.
Like really, the picture
Yeah.
of the infants on the thing.
Yeah.
We're talking that style drawing.
Yeah, yeah.
So sure, there is a drawing of like rain droplets from the sky at the destruction of this monster, but that's what you kind of get. You can try and cast locate object.
I mean, it's not going to hurt me. In 1,000 feet, as long as it's not through any type of material, really.
So 300 meters, and you're at the very top of a very tall tree. You do not get a ping.
Not in the tree, guys.
All right. Well, shopping time?
I got one more quick question. So in 2 days, we're going with all the tenders to one of the most dangerous places in Humblewood. Why? And what are we gonna do?
Good. Save the world, kid.
How?
Or save the cheerleader. One of the two.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
We'll figure it out on the way.
Okay, are we getting this ice thingy on the way?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there time?
No?
Ah,
I don't know.
we can't locate it. What?
Is this something that perhaps we want to tell the tenders? Looking at Aurora.
I mean, probably.
If they knew, perhaps they could help us in locating it,
Mm-hmm.
searching for us.
Yeah.
We
Well,
would.
we can tell them
Sorry.
next time we meet up with them.
An object like this, like a fragment of something that was that powerful, would presumably leave some kind of mark. either like a magical scar or physical one.
There would be an aura or a heaviness to it, something that would.
I don't know. I mean, it's a thing that was ice, so cold.
Perhaps that's what we should do. We should form the tenders when we see them in 2 days before we leave of this information that we have and see what they would want to do. Perhaps they will delay our trip to the grove and help us investigate on the way.
Do you trust the source that you got this information from, Aurora?
Implicitly.
Okay.
Implicitly?
Okay. It seems like a good shot. Do you think if we... And she looks at Elle and says, given everything you've told us, I think we also need to try and look for the child of the water plane.
I think we need to find Arrow and Evie. Don't worry, I'm already on it. I got an idea. Also, could we not say anything to the tall lady about me being special? Because I don't like the way she was looking at me. And I don't want her to take me away from you guys.
We wouldn't let that happen. But we won't say anything.
Okay.
So Basil just would kind of like lean over and be like, see what I tell you.
It was still scary.
We were very brave.
Just gonna like puff up a little bit.
Almost like you should be the knight.
Maybe I should be.
No.
Can I wear your helmet?
Would it even fit? I don't know.
No, it would definitely not.
All sweaty on the inside, smells
Oh.
terrible.
Ugh. Smells of ear.
Basil cleans his armor, okay?
All right. What's the plan here, folks? We're
Aurora,
into a mid-afternoon, late afternoon-esque sort of.
So if we want to hit the shops before they close, I just wanted to. Okay. I've been holding out on all you. I went to visit my folks earlier, and Elle came with. She can attest. We grabbed some stuff that I thought would be useful for our adventure. So I wanted.
We
to...
robbed a bank.
We didn't rob a bank. How many times do I have to tell you?
But that's what it felt like, and it's such a better story.
Okay. We robbed the first bank of Alderheart.
What?
Like
A passerby looks at you strange. Okay.
like Bonnie and Clyde, Rookie and I don't know. So I wanted to at least give you what we got. So like I pull in like out of my backpack, I pull out a onyx hilted dagger, and well, it's a dagger for most of us, but Basil, I think this would be like a short sword for you. So I hand you the dagger.
Onyx, it's not metal.
Is it metal? Is it because it's onyx hilted? I don't know what the blade is.
Oh,
The
okay.
blade is still a metal on this.
Yeah, but the handle isn't, so it won't burn your hand.
That's true.
Then I pull out of my bag a couple of bracers, and I go, Apoc, I think these might be useful for you. Your arms are looking a little uncovered, so I figure you want to keep those protected.
That's perfect. Cool.
And like I place them in your hands and just kind of linger for a second, and then put my hands back. And,
Whoa.
Are they dating now?
No. Mrs. Quillam, I was in a rush, so I didn't know what to grab for you. So the only thing I had left was I pull out this like small like shiny silver rod. Like, this might be useful for you. I don't know what it does, but it just screamed Mrs. Q, and I hand you it.
Are we like
Yeah, what that like? Yeah, it's like yeah,
like a foot? Okay.
like it's like a long, like just silver, shiny, unblemished little rod. I don't
Oh,
know if there's
cool.
any other details about that. That's all I got.
Thanks.
Um, and then, uh, and then like I leaned down to Elle and was like, I got something for you too. And the reason why I went there wasn't to just rob the bank. I wanted to get something special for you, and I couldn't think of anything more special than what I knew was back home. And I pull out, and it's like a blue sapphire, this little stone, and I hand it to you. It's a prize heirloom, and it was meant a lot to me as a kid, and I thought you should have it. Your first jewelry, and if you want, we can go get it inlaid into a necklace or a bracelet or a ring, whatever you want. It's on me.
Very generous.
Oh, it's so blue.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give you those things before, if you wanted to buy anything, so you didn't double dip. So like, figure you could have them now.
Cool.
The bracers look flammable.
The bracers are made of metal. Or no, sorry, made of leather. Made of leather. My
Beautiful.
apologies, made of leather. They're leather bracers. They are very finely embroidered. There is like green threading keeping each of the pieces of leather together. There is the embroidery of what looks like almost like crackles of lightning,
Yeah.
kind of in the seams.
I think once you attune to them, you'll find that they will help any ranged attacks you make.
Cool.
To a point. Basil, I think you'll find that dagger will help you get into the fight faster than you did last time. And then Mrs. Q, honestly, it was a very shiny silver rod. I thought it looked beautiful, and you're beautiful, so I figured that those two match.
You. I'm sure I'll figure something to do with it.
I'm sure you will. And that's all I got.
What about for yourself?
And you see, I pull out a nice long wooden staff made out of purple heart wood.
Well,
Well, thank
Right.
you. Should we be like adding these adding specific things or?
I slacked over the past 3 weeks. I still gotta make them.
So
No problem.
we'll just leave it for now. Gotcha.
Did we take some money too?
Nope, no money.
All right, we took no money.
Check,
Yeah.
check.
Sure, make an insight check. Deception or persuasion.
On me or Aurora?
Aurora.
25.
Nat one.
Oh,
Fine, I believe you.
Aurora, you wanted to go purse shopping.
I do.
Why would you need a purse with no money?
I didn't get any money for you guys. I got a couple of bucks. Couple of bucks for just a little allowance that my poppy gave me.
She needs to buy
If there's anything, okay, all right. If there's anything you're looking for, maybe I could put a buck or two your way, or a gold or two your way. Let me know what you're interested in, and I could help you out.
All right. Let's go shopping then.
Right. So there is the forge, the sharpest knife for weapons and armor. There is Tabitha's shop, the diagonal alley. Yeah, that's right. Which is potions and some magic items. And Sozin's shop, baubles and boops, which is more of a pawn shop, but also for sales. It's where you found your initial pan of perfection. That also has magic items as well. Where would you like to start? If you're splitting up or staying together, or whatever your heart's desire. We're looking for something else as well.
I'd like to stay with the group just so I can pay for their stuff if needed. So let's maybe do it all like in a group. That would be helpful.
I feel like I'd like a cape. Where would I find a cape?
So your
I
best
want a
bet to
cape
find
too.
A magic cape.
your best bet to find a cape would be at either Tabitha's or Sozin's. You were already in Tabitha's, didn't see anything, so
Yeah.
Sozin's shop. Bopples and boops.
Looking for a bag of holding. That would be maybe in a cape store.
Yep. Best bet would again be Tabitha's or Sozin's, and you're heading to Sozin's anyways. So in Sozin's shop, this is the like floor what?
Sorry. Big bag. It just says GG base.
Oh yeah. The kind of like a little bit cluttered, but still enough space pawn shop. And as you walk in, you see the otter form with the parachute pants and the vest of Sozin. And he kind of looks up from looking over some papers at the counter and recognizes, I think it was Apoc and Mrs. Q and Basil here last, who shot arrows in his shop for the rubber duck. And kind of gives a very big, hearty wave from behind the counter before sort of sauntering up to you, this like short but rail thin otter. Been a long time, been a long time. Welcome back. How has it been out there?
Good. You still got that ring of fire resistance?
I think it might be here somewhere. Kind of looks behind the counter once more. You have a very good memory. I didn't even realize that I still had it here. Yes, and pulls out this gold ring with a ruby inlaid. Ring of fire resistance.
Might need this, guys.
Yep. Seems like a good thing.
Now, it is used as far as I can tell, so there are some scratches on it, but still the enchantment should remain intact. I do have this priced at about this.
I didn't quite hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're talking into the mic.
I do have this priced at about 1,500 gold pieces. It is worn and was previously used, but pawned for the person to pay off some extenuating debts, as far as I can tell.
Perhaps if there are other things that we also want to get, we could bundle.
I also have this for
Certainly.
trade, and I just pull out a mirror. The mirror that Cam gave me. Never been used.
Oh, that mirror. Kind of looks at it. It's a lovely mirror. Is it just a mirror?
Nope. Pretty darn magical.
What does it do?
Cam never told me.
It absorbs spells and lets you use them.
It absorbs spells and fires them back.
You see Sozin kind of give you a little bit of a look before he kind of shuffles off and like pulls out a like massive thick tome and starts looking through it and looking through it. And you catch a glimpse of each of the pages of the tome, and they look like an item drawn with a description and a suggested price. And he looks and he looks and he looks and like, oh yes, a mirror of spell reflection. Okay. So lets you shoot or reflect a spell back if it targets you. This is quite rare. Okay. Kind of holds an ear up to it. Checks the book. I would trade you the mirror for the ring.
It's like a pretty good deal.
Is Apoc able to see what the price is that he's looking at in the book?
Like, is he getting ripped off?
Yeah, is it like worth 4,000?
Check if you want.
Sure. I do remember the last guy trying to buy this mirror offered like 300 gold. So I mean, it's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
Do I see what the cost is listed at?
So you kind of look over to the cost of this mirror in the book, and it's kind of hard. You see like or a dirty 20. You would see the numbers. So you do see for the cost of this mirror, it's priced anywhere to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
It's priced between like 1,200 and 2,200.
Good. I'd be happy with that. Yeah, sure. I'll trade you.
Excellent. Perfect. I don't think you want to go this way. You might just want to put your hand out.
He puts it on next to his other ring. Now he has a collection.
You see Sozin kind of tuck the mirror underneath the counter, and as he pulls up his hand, it's like kind of covered in a slime that he just sort of wipes on his vest. Anything else I can help you with while you're here?
Have you got anything that keeps things really cold or makes things cold or just stays really cold all the time?
Very specific set that you're looking for there. Kind of looks around. He like pulls out a couple things that he sort of looks around. So I have this one here. It's a whetstone, but if you sharpen something on it, it imbues it with cold damage. I believe it's a permanent change, but don't quote me on that. Not too sure.
Pretty darn good.
I have this guy here. As far as I know, you're able to store a water skin in it, and it keeps it nice and cool for you, but I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for. And the only other cool thing I have that would do any kind of frostiness, as you describe it, I do have this guy here, and it's just this like ceramic plate. It's like, as far as I can tell, this is a plate that will always cool down your meal to the exact temperature that you need it.
Good thinking. Like it.
We could have on-the-go ice cream.
What kind of monster eats ice cream on a plate?
You don't have anything left.
Or it's like what is it? Like marble slab, you know? Pour it out, you gotta scrape it.
Oh, yeah. Like flip your own ice cream.
Mm.
My dear, are you able to perform spells with frostiness to it?
I don't know. How would I know that?
Yeah,
Well,
but-
I
Well,
feel like that is the user of it, but if you're looking to just amplify what you already have for your spell casting or anything, here it is. And he pulls out this like very oddly shaped pearl and kind of holds it up from the top of the jewelry counter. This is called a Pearl of Power, and it allows you to regain some of your expended magical energies should you be able to perform cold type spells, if that's what you're looking for.
Is it a one-use thing?
He kind of like flips through the book. It's a one per day sort of thing.
She looks at her friends. Who has cold powers?
you can also like change your spells every morning.
I know, but then I need to go through and see if there are even any cold ones. I don't remember seeing cold ones in my list of them.
Elle is pretty confident that she's got some cold spells probably up her sleeve.
Well, if that's the case, Miss Elle, Miss Missile, the Pearl of Power is currently going for 900 gold pieces. This again, slightly used. This is a pawn shop.
How many platinum is that?
It's 90.
Oh, I only have 3.
3.
No,
I got
I
5.
have more than that.
Elle, I
Oh,
can.
split the 15.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoops. I guess I have 3 too.
Elle, I can pay for it for you.
It seems like a pretty big thing.
Well, it's a
But
pretty big.
I get it. Can other people use it other than me?
You see Sozin check the book again. Well, as long as you take an hour to switch whoever holds it, you should be able to do so. But let me be clear, it's not just for retrieving cold damage spells. You can retrieve virtually any spell, but if you're trying to make your cold go a little bit farther, this could work.
Well, like, okay, so 900 for that. I'm also looking for a bag, like a purse. Any like high-end purses that can hold a lot of things. Like a fun bag that I can put all my my makeup and jewelry in.
How much makeup and jewelry are we talking here?
Quite a bit. Like bottomless would be better.
Sozin kind of gives a nod, and with during his nod, he reaches behind him to the top shelf liquor that's always behind the bar. There's like a top shelf product behind the counter, and he just reaches, and you notice this like teeny tiny little bag where it looks like it could hold 1 lipstick. It's got like 2 C's that kind of cross over one another.
Yes.
They're embossed and with like some little
Ooh.
jewels. And it's got the option to like hook on a little tiny little chain or take that little chain off and make it a clutch.
What do the C's stand for?
You don't know. You're from a small backwater town. You've never seen this before.
I'm asking the DM, but okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't think of anything right off the bat.
Ooh, that looks-
Coco Shellen. This might be what you're looking for, my dear.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Do you
I
have
figured.
do you have the little string for the clutch?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Reaches
Yeah.
back.
Damn, I thought I'd get a discount because it's used.
Just 1 thread missing.
Okay. So I'll take
Percent
that.
off.
I'll take that. I'll take the pearl. Mrs. Q, is there anything you're grabbing?
Do we think that the cold damage whetstone would be useful?
If you want.
I don't. If
So Basil isn't fussed.
Mrs. Q doesn't have, like, you can't sharpen a frying pan.
I mean, you
Or-
could.
Or can you?
Or you can sharpen anything.
Fair enough. I would be sharpening that and a crochet hook.
You can definitely sharpen a crochet hook.
Oh yeah.
Call
Okay.
it a shiv.
We'll take the whetstone as well then.
Okay. How much is the
Doesn't-
whetstone?
Oh, for the whetstone, it seems like a fairly simple enchantment. It's about 300 gold for the whetstone.
I have that.
Okay, so
I
the
want-
whetstone,
Is that the same?
No.
3 platinum.
3 gold is platinum.
1 platinum is 10 gold. You
Yeah,
have 30 gold pieces.
Okay, never mind. I take Aurora up on her offer.
So if I get all of that, can I get like a buyer's discount? Basil, is there anything you wanted to get added into this order?
I don't think so. So this is like just a magic item store, correct? Or a pawn shop.
It's a pawn shop, yeah. So they're not in the best condition. There's some really weird odds and ends. It's not a very organized kind of situation. Don't really know what's there. It's a you have to search for kind of thing. So is there something you're looking for?
Let me see.
Tabaka's is more of a potion and some magic items, like newer enchantment, or will enchant for you kind of shop, if that matches what you're thinking of, Basil.
Okay. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. Oh, and also like looking to buy just armor or like a better sword or something. But yeah, so nothing necessarily here.
We're going to a weapon store next, right? So maybe that's
Yeah,
something.
there's also the forge where
Yeah.
there's that is more of its thing.
All right, so we got 900, 300, and then you didn't tell me. Oh, wait, yeah, you did tell me how much the Coco Chalene
Shellen.
bag purse was. So how much would you say all of that together?
Well, the purse is a vintage, and based on the enchantment as well as the vintageness of the purse itself is about 1,500 gold pieces. So total, you are looking at what is that? 3,400 gold pieces. Did I do that right?
No, you didn't. I don't think you did your math right.
900 plus 300 is 1,200.
Yeah.
Plus, what did I say the purse was? 1,500?
28.
Yeah,
100?
28.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You think you could cut me a deal for a member of the Winters clan?
You see his eyes go wide for a hot second. Yes, absolutely. So sorry, didn't recognize you. Now it makes sense. Let's just say 2,000? Would 2,000 work?
2,000 would be fantastic, and I throw 200 platinum down.
Amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. Didn't realize, if you didn't realize who you were when you walked in, never seen you, I apologize.
No
but...
no harm, and like I pat their shoulders. It's okay. You're good.
Okay, great. Yes, wonderful. Thank you very much for your business.
I swear that always happens whenever I bring up the family name, but that's neither here nor there. So, and I hand out all this stuff to everybody.
Quick question. Is this the type of store that has like rows of stuff, or is it one big room?
It's kind of like a it's almost like a straight shop that kind of gets narrower. It sort of tapers at the back, and it's all around with like a row in the middle. So it's a little tight, kind of organized.
Okay, because Elle's gonna wander around and see if there's any like books, specifically like kids books, like YA kind of stuff.
The YA, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you wander around, you do find like just a handful of books. They're a little ratty. It's not really magical, so they're a little ratty because they're used. But you find one that's with the title "Diary of a Thief." You find another one, "Who Moved My Cheese?" ? The Idiot's Guide to Casting Mage Hand.
Nice.
You find one that reads the Book of Plot Twists, and one that reads the Book of Misspells.
Is she close to the counter or easily visible from?
These are like in the very back corner because they don't.
Okay. Elle's gonna try to steal the Diary of the Thief. Just kind of put it in her bag, put it
That
under
is
her wing.
Poetic.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hands check.
Okay. Keep in mind, I am still exhausted.
Don't think it's gonna matter.
I rolled a 10 and a 9, but plus 6 is 16.
And it's gone.
Nice.
Was it misspells or missed spells?
Misspells.
Misspells? Okay.
Who Took My Cheese was very tempting, but she didn't feel like a mystery.
All right. Anything else in Sozin's shop while you're here?
Do we see any capes?
In Sozin's, you see. You do see one cape. It looks a little worse for wear. As in, it looks like it's just absolutely like covered in leaves and sticks and twigs. It's sort of hanging up on one little coat rack. Beside it, you see like a pair of boots that look very shiny but absolutely covered in cobwebs. And you see like one slightly used breastplate.
So can we take this cape too?
He's like sort of keeping an eye on Aurora now and just, yes, sure, you're interested in the cape, okay. We can give it a discount as well. I had it priced, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's a little high to begin with. So we can say maybe 500 gold pieces for the cape.
Ooh.
Isn't it just a cape?
No. It's a magic cape. It's actually got a
Oh.
name.
What's its name?
Its name is Nature's Mantle. It's supposed to help you be a little sneakier when you're out in the woods.
I don't need that.
Yes, of course,
We're good.
absolutely. Right. Anything else I can help you with today, dears? Miss?
I'm looking for a couple of diamonds in the variety of. I guess we can go to a jeweler's for that.
Probably best. I have like some diamond earrings around here. You can probably. I don't think these are magical. You could take the diamonds out, but depends on the
Do you
value.
have like a stud earring? Like a diamond stud earring?
Absolutely, we do have a couple stud earrings.
Yeah. I'm more interested in like a nose ring.
Oh, a nose ring. Yes, that's
Yeah.
this section.
Is it septum or nostril?
Nostril.
Okay.
Yes, so you see we have a couple rubies over here. There's some sapphires right here, diamond right over here. They're all just your base jewelry, so they're
I'll
no
take
more
the
than
diamond.
like 50 gold a piece.
I'll take the diamond for. Yeah, let's do that.
Excellent. You tell me what it looks like.
Just a
What shape you choose.
just like a very small stud nose ring that I put in right on the spot. Ow!
Jesus.
Oh, this doesn't even have an end to pierce.
You take a point of damage for that.
I'm down.
Everyone's just like, gosh, how do you do that?
Hence.
I just didn't even clean that.
Yes, super infected.
Yeah.
All right.
Are Sean and Andrea frozen for anybody else or just me?
Nope.
Oh, are we
Just-
frozen for you?
No.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny.
Oh.
Oh. Can you still hear us okay though, or is the audio all right?
Yeah, I can still
Okay.
hear you guys.
Here, does this fix it?
Damn it, I didn't get a picture.
Oh.
Oh no, I did. No, I did.
All right. Anything else I can help you with? All right, my friends, it's always wonderful to see you, especially with your new addition. Yes. You know where to find me. And you leave with a bag of goodies from Sosin's shop.
Hi.
Are you? Ah.
It looks like you're just scolding Sean. He's just like,
Just looking sad.
That looks so sad.
Yeah.
All right. Are we heading to the Smithies or Tabaka's next?
What's on the way?
So the Smithies is in the same chunk market. Tabaka's is up in the canopy, so closer to the council. But like wherever you want to go, you can go all out of order. We also don't have to role play each one, but they all have some little special things if you're interested.
Let's do the Smithies for Basil.
It's pronounced Basil.
It's actually Sir Basil.
yeah, thank you,
Touche.
thank you, thank you.
You make your way over to the Smithies in the open trunk market, and you see the Strig mail. That kind of like chokes your heart a little bit as this male, the Strig looks very close to Dace, very muscly, wearing like the apron and just a older like t-shirt with holes from the smith poked through, or from the forge. And you see Eve, the young hedge male, the assistant, just at the anvil, banging away at a piece of metal. You see like armor, swords up on the walls, ready for sale. Some are absolutely beautiful. Some are unique shapes. There's one dagger with like a honeycombed edge almost. And as you approach Ton, the strig, sees you coming and stops his work at the bellows to walk over, wiping his hands on his aprons. Hello. Welcome to the Sharpest Knife Smithy. How can I help you?
Looking for a little bit of an upgrade. You see Sir Basil kind of looking down. He's got kind of worn down leather armor, looking at his sword. Seeing if there's anything he can do to help a fellow knight out for his adventures.
Sounds good. So for the armor, we've got a couple different kinds. We got some chainmail if you're looking for it. Not exactly the most stealthy thing, if that's more your vibe. We got some heavy plate if you're kind of looks you up and down before sort of nodding. We got some plate that's a little on the heavy side, but shouldn't be a problem for you. Looking for anything specific?
Any chance you have anything that would be resistant to fire and heat?
Oh. Not that I sell. I'm not the magic type, but we usually send people to Tabitha's to get theirs enchanted. She can usually turn a quick enchantment like that over in a day. If you're gonna go to Tabitha's, we got a bit of an arrangement. We can knock a bit off the price for you.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me. I guess I would look for plate armor, I guess.
I think you have proficiency with whatever you want, so pick whatever armor you want. You can have it ready for next session, and then that would be the cost you would pay for the armor.
Cool. And then Sir Basil will probably want to see if there's any way he can get a better sword. Right now he just has a great sword, just a basic great sword. We want to see if there's anything in his shop or anything that he can do to improve it. And not just a cosmetic thing, like
The 30 gold for a cosmetic. I mean, yeah, again, if you want some simple enchantments, Tabitha can help you out with that. I did get a couple back from her. He kind of looks over to the side. He like sort of heaves the dagger with the honeycombed edge, and he just sort of holds it up between his talons. You're coming from a great sword. Don't know if this is what you're looking for, but this dagger, the honeycomb dagger, and it, as adorable as it looks, has the ability to impart some disease on whoever you stab with it. Temporary, of course. They can shake it off. Sort of puts it back. I know I did send a couple swords up to Tabitha to get her to enchant them for me, but if you get there enough and you have an enchantment in mind, I'm sure she'd be able to fix it for you.
Okay. Yeah, Sir Basil will just say something like, maybe he like hefts up his own sword and kind of just shows, I'm used to a little something more heavy and double-handed. So perhaps I will go to Tabitha and see what she has.
Well, and I can sharpen the one you have, and then you can take that to Tabitha.
Sure.
Cool. He'll actually like take it and just sort of literally toss it over to the hedge, Eve, as they can go about sharpening it a little bit.
While it's getting sharpened, you wouldn't happen to have a whip, would you?
Absolutely. You looking for a normal whip?
I'm impartial. One with like a a bit of a reach to it. I don't really want to go full bullwhip, but that's kind of the avenue I'm looking.
I mean, sort of looks around.
A snake whip?
Go.
That'd be fun.
A what?
No, just go ahead.
Okay. We do have this guy here, pulls out a cat of nines. But you said something a little farther.
Longer with a little bit more reach to it.
Okay.
I might take that one too.
What do you use that one for?
I ignore the question.
It's this like, it's just a leather like cat of nines whip.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anything
Close
magical.
combat.
Nothing magical.
He kind of looks over and just sort of like knocks over a barrel as he reaches for a whip behind him. I do not know the difference between Andrea does not know the difference between whips. But it is this like almost blue leather handled whip.
Oh.
And it looks like it's got almost like a an arrowhead at the end of it. So it's
Cool.
been beefed up just a little. It doesn't look very long, but as he unfurls it and goes to crack it, it almost like extends its reach by an
Cool.
extra little bit.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take both.
Great. Great, cool. Tabitha didn't give me a price for this. I have absolutely no idea what she did to it. Let's call it,
20 gold?
I was going to say 50 because it's pretty.
All right, 50 gold.
Done. Right. Anybody else for the
This-
forge?
Mr. Strigg, we're
Yes.
gonna go save the world. So do you have something more sturdy I could wear? I just got this leather armor.
And it's looking a little bit rough there.
Toss me into that mix too. I just got this scale, and I've been told it gets pretty hot there. So
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can do. I think I have some. Oh, you know what? Pulls off like 2 sets and kind of slaps down what looks like a chainmail, but he sort of puts his hand. Not chainmail, chain shirt. But this metal here, pretty rare. I have my own special recipe to forge with this, so ideally it won't be as hot for you to save the world. Kind of gives a little smirk.
I'm not joking.
I believe you. Now this armor's a little bit more expensive. We're talking about free. We're talking about 120 gold pieces per.
that's fine.
Extra light, extra movable, extra breathable.
Will you trade?
Depends on what you're trading. Your leather armor has seen better days. I don't think I'll trade for that.
Hmm. You like coffee?
We haven't had coffee here in ages.
Rare commodity.
Sure is.
I mean, we gotta save the world, right?
We're talking 240 gold?
Yes.
Put it on my tab.
How much money do you have?
I'll pay for them.
All right, little miss. Thank you very much. Change your armor to be both.
You spent
Down.
everything.
But it's special chain shirt
I
armor.
know. I don't have to wear it yet.
You could just like undress and throw it on in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Thanks, Aurora.
Problem.
Mrs. Q pipes up and says, I don't think you'll be able to help me with anything weapons wise or outfit wise. I'm rather partial to my petticoat, but I was wondering if I could ask you and your hedge colleague here if you've had a hedge visit here recently, an older male hedge. Has he passed through? Your sort of fellow, probably.
So what was the first word?
Jovial sort of fellow.
I mean, you see Ton kind of look down the street. It is the trunk market. It's packed. I think we've seen a lot of hedge here. Sorry. A lot of them are jovial too. Some of them are older. Did he have something specific?
Did he fight with something specific? Did he have a weapon?
Not that I remember.
I can't remember him having a weapon.
You could say like is
He
necklace.
would have potentially been wearing a necklace with a rock embedded in it. If he did strike up conversation, he may have been telling you that he was heading west, but was probably not going to tell you exactly where west. Yeah, he
Doesn't
probably.
ring a bell.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We get a lot of people coming through here every day.
She sort of looks behind the streak to the hedge to see if the hedge perks up to say anything about whether he remembers anyone.
You see Eve, who's sort of like busy, kind of like half paying attention, but it doesn't really. He doesn't start acting any different.
Okay. Worth a shot.
Sorry. Anything else I can help you all with? All right.
So
Just wanting to. Oh, go ahead, Basil.
just like out of game, I would have bought plate armor.
Okay.
Do I need to? Do you want to?
Can you afford that?
Yeah. Can you afford that?
I cannot. Personally.
I don't think I can either.
How much is it? Because I have some.
So it says plate, just basic plate.
1,500 gold pieces?
Yeah.
Dude.
So
Can't
but
have that.
then he was saying something about working out deals with
Oh,
Tabitha.
Tabitha. I don't know.
If not,
I
then
don't think it's gonna be like
Oh.
8.
Let's go
If
to
not-
if we have time, let's go to Tabitha's and get this resolved.
I was gonna say if you ask him quickly about it, just because I think this might be out of your price range. It does also take money to enchant at Tabitha's.
Okay, so
and
don't worry about it.
yeah, so they give you like a deal, but not enough to push it into your range, I'm assuming.
So Basil is cool with it and just takes his sharpened sword.
I know it is like 10:17. Did we want to go to Tabitha's and finish up there wrap it up with a bow for this session? Okay. We're all good to go another like 10 minutes.
We have
Just a clarifying question. Did Aurora buy armor for Elle? Because I kind of got really distracted when Apoc was about to sell his coffee.
Yeah.
I momentarily just like disassociated. So okay. So Elle will thank Aurora for that.
Yes, a chain shirt.
If I can, I don't want to like eat up more session, but I'm gonna just buy two diamonds.
Okay.
And then
300 gold pieces worth?
300 gold pieces worth each, and if I can,
Enough.
also a piece of jewelry for Elle to put her sapphire in.
Yep. Easy enough. Easy enough.
Okay.
All right. So if we want to finish up just at Tabitha's, the diagonal alley, you walk in, Apoc, you were here like a couple hours ago. You see the magpie shop owner, Tabitha, with some blue tinge to her feathers, this Corvum. Hi, welcome back.
Hey, Tabby Cat.
I don't like it. I like it. Oh wow, the whole crew's with you. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Great.
We're looking to have some things enchanted. Probably.
Cool. Yeah, I can do that. But you're looking to get enchanted.
So Basil takes out his sword and drops it on the table.
Uh-huh.
See if there's anything you can do with this.
You're looking for something specific, or is it dealer's choice? Her eyes get like almost greedy.
We're looking for resistance to fire and or heat.
Okay, so you want your sword to give you resistance to heat?
You want it to do cold damage. You want your armor to.
Well, I put the sword down.
So you want your sword to give you resistance to heat, or would you want the sword to deal cold
The
damage?
sword would need to be resistance against
It would need to be resistant.
resistant
Okay.
against great heat. And then I'll give you freedom's choice to figure out what that means. Like, does it mean that it's crazy cold damage? Up to you.
Do you
Surprise-
want the sword, the weapon, to be resistant against heat?
Correct. Well, what can I ask for here? I don't know.
Yeah, so you can ask for, you do remember Astra saying non-magical metals will be damaged by the heat.
Correct.
If you're able to withstand the heat itself and you're wearing like a magical armor, a magical metal armor, you should be good. If you're wearing non-magical metal armor like a studded leather or scale mill that these guys just switched out for, that's when it would cause problems.
Is your armor magic and is your weapon already magic?
And then same for the sword. If your weapon was not magical, it would melt. If your weapon is magical, it's got a little bit of resistance to it.
Okay, then in that case, well, both my sword and my leather armor are not magical, so. Okay.
Out of character, Andrea, I sent you a quick message.
Oh,
Did you? I'm trying to remember because I made my bow magic after that one fight. We got it from what's her name? Did you do that to your sword as well?
yes.
Gave us like something that we like wrapped around our weapons.
Wait, sorry, I lied. Don't look at that. I didn't realize there was a link, Eric. Sorry.
Yes.
So I assume that was temporary.
You assume what? Sorry.
Like that was a temporary thing, right?
I think it's permanent.
Wasn't it like it was because the leader of the bandits, she gave us some,
Yes, Ceridian.
yeah, but it was like a physical thing that like we like put on we like wrapped around our weapons or something.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, you got one. I got one. I can't remember if there was a third, but I mean I'll let Andrea clarify it, but I think it's permanent.
Have you been adding
It
it?
melded with your swords. I'm sorry. It melded with your weapons, so your weapon is technically magical. It was just not like a +1 magical.
Like +1?
Wait, I thought it was a +1.
No, it just turned your.
Oh, I've had a +1 this whole time.
Oh gosh, that's okay. No big deal.
Okay, I'll remove that. Okay, it's just magic.
Okay, then in that case, I'll just say like, because the sword is magic. See if there's anything that can be added to the sword, done to the sword to give it more firepower, give it some more oomph behind every swing.
Okay, sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that again.
Just something that will increase its damage.
Something that would increase its damage. Okay, of a specific type that you're looking for, or like, do you want to do more cold damage in addition to the pokey damage, or?
It's a cold damage, right? Things, elemental thingamajigs.
Sure, cold damage.
You do whatever you want.
Or you know what? Surprise me.
Surprise you? Great. You know what? Because you're gonna let me do whatever I want to this, I'll knock off a cost for this. Let's say normally I would charge 500 gold pieces for a simple enchantment. Let's say 400.
Sir Basil will just immediately look at Aurora.
Is this your great sword that's getting enchanted?
Yes.
Can you do more than just add cold damage to it? I'm willing to pay more for something good for my friend here.
Leave it with me. I'll fix it up for you.
I throw you 600 gold pieces.
I'll fix it up real good for you. This
Mrs.
is gonna be fun. As she like scoops the 600 off.
Mrs. Q, once she's taken the money, she pulls out a frying pan and her crochet hook and she puts them on the counter and she says, I usually fight with these. I have 5 platinum and 19 gold pieces. Can you do anything to make them better?
I can get them to do like a tiny bit more damage for that.
Okay.
Of the damage that they already do.
What damage do they do?
My crochet hook is +4 to hit and a d4 +1. And my frying pan is a +3 to the hit and a d6.
So basically it'd be like a d6 +1 and then a d4 +2 kind of thing. Like they'll be +1 weapons.
Like
Is it worth?
on top of what it already does. So like if it's +3, it's +4.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You know, it's probably fine.
Just take it back.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
The materials are expensive. I'm sorry.
I didn't tell you guys, but I asked Havika to make us some cold damage potion. Did I tell you guys? I can't remember.
Oh, I got one for you.
Is one's ready? So
It's
what?
super experimental. You want to do it?
Do we drink it or do we put our
I
weapons in?
don't recommend drinking it.
Okay.
Unless you got some like real high constitution, but then like nothing good's gonna come out of it. You can dip your weapons in or you can throw it.
Okay. Cool.
Don't know if it's gonna work. First one of its kind.
Fun. Okay.
You're
That's,
welcome.
That's all right. Yeah, so we got these. So like she's good at this stuff. Maybe?
The other two will be more dependable.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you looking for like cold specifically, or what's going on here? I've got some scrolls. I've got some other potions.
Do you have anything to help find something that you haven't seen before?
Or haven't seen in a very, very long time.
What?
Just adding to it.
Okay. Or, you know, finding someone you've never met but you know the name of.
No, but I do have a potion of haste that can help you look real fast for like a minute. I mean, if you want to try and locate an object or something like that, but I think you got to be pretty close.
How close is close?
I don't know, like 1,000 feet, I think, for that spell. I haven't used it in a really long time. It's not since I stopped getting ingredients myself.
Fair enough.
Are you looking for something specific? Like, does it have a specific magic type?
Gosh.
I have like a protection from a specific creature type, if that works, but not really find a specific magic type.
Sorry, I banged my arm real bad on my
Oh.
table.
Oh,
Ow! Sorry, I'm good. I'm
let it
good.
out.
The thing we're looking for is super specific and we don't really know what it looks like or what it does or what kind of magic it would emanate or where it even is. So no, that's probably fine.
Is it magical?
Yes, probably.
Well, when I was studying at the Avium, one of my professors always said magic leaves scars. So you got to be careful with how you use it. Something super magical, there's going to be something left behind.
Hmm.
Or so the theory goes. I don't know if theories are actually right. Never really took to it. The potions were the way cooler part.
Is it like it leaves a scar of the opposite type? Or it leaves a scar of the same type?
Might depend on the enchantment. I'm not too sure. Just magic leaves traces. It doesn't just disappear.
Hmm.
Especially if it's something physical. You know, there could have been like a spell cast in a specific area a really long time ago, and there's nothing left of that area. Maybe a rock super eroded. But if you were to cast detect magic on that area, there'd still be a pulse there.
Hmm.
Gotta, it leaves something.
That makes sense. Okay.
No, Apoc said you guys knew the dean at the Avium. I'm sure he'd be able to help.
He seemed rather eager for us to leave.
He likes it when his students graduate. Makes the numbers look good, you know? Anything else you're looking for?
Got any wands?
Mm.
I've been reading a lot of Terry Cotter books and kind of interested in picking up one. They seem kind of cool.
Harry. It's so funny.
You don't choose the wand chooses you.
I don't have any wands right now. I got rings, but I don't think that made an appearance in Terry Cotter. Well, not until one of the last books.
I haven't read the last one. No spoilers.
Okay, I won't spoil it. No worries. Man, I feel like at this point, if you haven't read it, they've been out forever.
Yeah, but you know, I'm a slow reader.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I've got some other books to get through as like tap my bag.
Yeah, sorry, no wands.
Okay.
Rings, no wands. Is there anything else you're looking for at Tapica's?
Elle's just kind of wander around. How big is this room?
It's I'm not good with my distances here. It's not huge. It kind of goes on like an angle so that behind Tabitha's is almost like a triangle point, if that makes sense. So it's very wide closer to the front and then narrow at the back. There is almost like a half wall where she's currently Basil's longsword is on this counter. I would say it's probably how big is this? This wall to that wall?
God, I don't.
That's probably about 30, 40 feet. 30
That's
feet.
more than that.
Probably about like 40 feet before from the door to the counter. And then it just tapers. It starts quite wide, probably 30 feet wide as well, and then it just kind of tapers. There is the walls are neatly organized. There's potions on the walls, and in the middle is more of a like locked cabinet with some jewelry, some rings, some other like there. That's where the spell scrolls are.
I was gonna wander over to like that cabinet and just kind of like peer in, and she's gonna ask if like, hey, is there anything really fancy in here? Is that why you have it locked?
Yeah, that's where some of my more expensive enchantments go.
Ooh, like what?
Well, I recently wrote out I recently finished, well, I call it a ring of elder roots, and it's this like super gnarled, twisted ring. That one was pretty hefty to do. That's a lot. There's a ring of protection. That's a pretty standard one for everybody. So I guess not the most expensive, but still it looks good when the rings are all nice together. Just finished writing out a spell scroll in there. That's why that's there, because the ink is still like wet, and as you look in, you can see that it is a protection scroll. And you see Tabitha kind of wanders over. There is a really cool little item, and the only reason why it's in here is because that's it right there. It's one of those things where if you sneeze, it's going to go everywhere and cause some trouble. It's a dusted disappearance. So you have like 2 uses, I think, is how much I made. And if you sprinkle it on yourself, you're gone. As in you're invisible, not that you tell.
It's a reverse glitter bomb.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. She's gonna kind of still wander, but kind of notice that it's a tiny shop, and Apoc seems to have some kind of professional thing with Tabitha, so Elle's not gonna try to steal anything. She's gonna eventually just like sit down and take out some paper and start like drawing and doodling and kind of entertaining herself.
Right. Anything else you're looking for at Tabitha's for tonight / at this session? And if there's something else, we can always start with it next session. All right.
Oh, she would just ask the question, do you know if there's like a scout group? Like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts in Alderheart who do like camping trips and exploration in the areas around the tree?
I mean, there's like a mini perch guard thing, if that's what you're looking for.
Cool.
But be warned, those little kids are mean. They made fun of all of them that went to the avium.
Where's their
You little kid, the other little kids.
Okay.
what do they call like this the like cub cave or something? Is there a name for it?
Cupcake?
You know, like when you have like a scout, like they're like building. Is there a special name for like their
The lodge.
lodge?
I think
Is
it's
it
a
a lodge?
lodge, like a scout lodge.
Where's the mini perch lodge?
I don't know. As far as I know, they only meet on like Saturday mornings at a stupid, ungodly hour up in the top ring.
What day is it today?
Monday.
It-
You get this as the Tabitha does not know, nor does she care to know.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, she's new to the city too.
Newer, yes,
Newer?
in her
I'm-
adult
okay.
life. Yes.
I'm all for dropping every quest we have and finding this junior perch guard for Mrs.
Junior, that's the word I'm trying
You know,
to say.
they might be like
Not
an
many.
offshoot of the Sharpened Arrow, which is the Adventurers Guild. Is
Aw.
it Perch Guard related or is it guild related? There could be multiple in this town.
Well, there's also the like, take your hatchling to work day, so that usually forms a little
Actually.
that usually forms a little cluster of tiny hatchlings that get in everybody's way.
That's
Yeah, my dad had to take us all to work once, and like we destroyed the mail room, but not on purpose.
I feel like I've heard this story.
I don't know if I've told that one.
No? Maybe it was a different family that destroyed a mailroom.
Cool. That was my only question.
All right. So as you gather up all of your wares, commissioning I have so much homework. Commissioning an enchantment for your sword, spending all of Aurora's money.
I still got like a quarter of it left.
Wow. Very nice. And start making your way out of the diagonal alley in the like early evening dinner time ish. You start to smell some fragrances.
One more thing.
Yeah. Last thing, and we're gonna close it.
just like as we're walking through the city, Elle's gonna look for any kind of post box or mailbox.
Yeah, easy enough to find.
Okay, she's gonna have like as the day's been kind of going, you'll notice she's kind of like drawing and doodling and whatnot. But she's gonna put 2 envelopes into the mailbox. One is gonna be to Evie Zogma, and the other one is going to be sending to Arrow of the Volta family.
Amazing.
She's gonna put those in the mail.
Easy enough. The mailboxes are like, as with everything, built into the ring, the wood of the tree of Elderheart. And as the smells of dinner reach your nose, we are going to end the session there. Thanks for hanging on
Absolutely.
for an extra 40 minutes.
Okay, we started late.
We did.